to NicholasHopping.
Hello, keep it going for your host. All the comics you've seen so far. Oh, guys, thanks for coming. I see nobody sat in the front. Okay. Is it because you guys don't want to be talked to? I always think that's fascinating that you guys think that we can't see past the first row. Like that I'm getting here and I'm like, oh my God, there's no one in the audience. It's just me. And then you guys are now the de facto front row. You know, these chairs don't save you. I can say things. You guys are very nice you guys seem fun. You seem like a very fun crowd. The first crowd was very old. They're very old and they're all dead. You know, of natural causes. I mean, it wasn't no big thing. Yeah, no, I'm here from New York. Oh, so she told you about that American comic thing? So it's like a documentary, the thing I was in. It was a documentary about like race in comedy. And everybody else was like middle-aged and a person of color, and I was like 19 and white. So they're just like, what do you think about racing? I didn't say shit the whole... I maybe answered one question, but ugh. Anyway, watch it or don't, it's fine. So I'm here from New York, and I like it in New York. I've been there for about a year and a half. You know what I found, though, is that people who've lived in New York for a long time, they're not okay. You know, like they're not. My mom was so freaked out when I moved there because she was positive I was going to get mugged. It was so bad. She actually made me download an app that lets her track my location and then has a distress button I can push. So that way, if someone tries to mug me in New York City, my mom in Richmond, Virginia will know immediately. Right? Someone's like, hey, give me your money. And I'm like, it's too late. I push the button and my mom's already muted the TV. I go, oh, you don't have much time or she's gonna wake up my dad and then he's gonna tell her to figure it out. If it's ever late and my mom calls and I don't answer, she immediately assumes I'm dead. My dad's the exact opposite. I could miss his calls for 3 weeks and he would just be like, kids. But I don't think either of those approaches is right. You know, like sometimes my girlfriend will be out late and I don't automatically assume that she's dead, but I also don't necessarily assume that it's fine. You know, I meet somewhere in the middle and I assume she's wounded. You know, I'm like, all right, she'll be home, but she'll be different. You know? I won't love her as much, you know? No, because she'll be a burden. You know? I'm like, ugh, she'll go walking, you know, I don't, you know. Yeah, people in New York aren't, even people who haven't been in New York long aren't okay. I saw this guy on the subway, and he had a map out, and he seemed to be comparing his map against all the subway stops, you know, kind of trying to orient himself, which I've seen that, I was like, okay, normal guy, until I saw what was on his map. And I was like, oh shit, because it was a map of the full United States. Like from social studies. It didn't even look current. Where he was like, oh, is this train going uptown? I thought we were going west. Heard there's gold in California. And there's a lot of catcalling up there, which is true. I could never catcall somebody. Just because my whistle is way too beautiful. It would just be confusing. You know, if you're walking and you just heard like, hey. Right, you turn around like, what the fuck? And then there'd just be all these little birds and baby deer. I couldn't even cackle. I'd be like, yeah, great tits. Like I'd be surrounded. Like I think those woodland creatures want to fuck. I don't know what that was. No, I like this. So I moved up there for comedy, and so people keep asking me like, how's New York? And I think what they mean is, have you quit yet? But I'm not quit. I actually started a web series, and it has fans. Shut up, yes it does. You know what I didn't know though about fans, and you never hear this about, you know, when there's interviews with celebrities and stuff, but it turns out 100% of fans are your dad's friends. I had no idea. It's like, did you guys like the show? They're like, well, we like how big you've gotten. You know? You seem like a responsible young man. But I'm dedicated. You know, I'm really going for it. I don't get distracted. by anything. You know, like I found out I was colorblind, and I don't give a fuck. Good. I'm glad I'm colorblind. Those colors are a distraction. I'm trying to get rich. Was that yellow? Get that shit out of here. How's that making me money? You know what I'm talking about? You know how little I care about that? When I didn't even learn all the names of the things. When I was in first grade, you know, all the nerds were in the front of the class, like, whoa, the fire trucks, the grass is whatever. Fucking nerds. I was in the back of the class, eating pussy. The only color that matters is blue, the color of money. All right, some of you like that. Some of you were like, was that English? What were all those sentences doing together? When I was a kid, when I wasn't eating pussy, I really wanted a pet, and I landed on a pet turtle, which was such a mistake. They are such a boring pet. They're not even excited for you when you get it from the pet store. Like, if you get a pet dog, they're like, oh, here's the new member of your family. Like, if you get a pet turtle, all they say is, hey, don't put that in your mouth. All right? We're not liable if you put that in your... We keep getting calls, and you don't get a new one, okay, when one of you dies. They don't do anything. I was bored of the turtle on the way home from the pet store. My mom's like, you gonna play with your new turtle? I was like, how? Maybe I'll put it in my mouth, I don't know. Because they don't do anything. If you let a turtle do whatever it wants, just free reign, all it does is just walk straight. That's its whole MO. And then if it can't walk straight anymore because there's some obstacle in the way, you know what it does? It just gives up. You're like, you could probably just go around that, and it's like, you know what, career's not everything. They don't do anything. So I ended up just playing with action figures a whole bunch when I was a kid. And I would get so frustrated because they were not to scale with each other. So I would get my Batmans, but they were much shorter than like the Star Wars and other ones. And I hated short Batman. I hated short Batman so much. But now as an adult, I've been thinking about short Batman, and wouldn't that be such a fun take on the character? Like, wouldn't you see that movie if there was like a 5'1" Batman? Right, he's just like, no guns or heels, come on. You know, and you could totally simplify his origin story too, right? Instead of him becoming Batman and wearing the suit and fighting crime because his parents were killed, 5'1" Batman would do all that shit just because he's 5'1". You know, and that's how he overcompensates. And then later in the movie, he would have to team up with Catwoman, and you're like, ooh, is there going to be a romantic thing between them later? And no, there is not. They're just friends. No, I was a very dorky kid. Do you guys know what Yu-Gi-Oh is? Yeah. No, I was into Yu-Gi-Oh. If you don't know, it was kind of a rip-off of Pokemon, except the main difference was with Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't know why they did this, they made like 1 out of every 30 cards like a little sexy. And it added a weird element to the game. You know, where you're playing and you're like, I play this dragon, and the other guy's like, oh yeah, well I play this wizard. And you're like, oh yeah, well I like that one. That one made me happy. And we would do these tournaments in school, which were intense. You know, we would all gather all of our cards and then bring them to class, and then we would compete to see whose parents had the most disposable income. It was something. I was so dorky. I had, I'm gonna do this joke. The first audience hated this. Anyway, I'm doing it. I did it, and then they didn't like it, and I retold essentially the same joke just at them, you know, out of spite, and, but they're all dead, so it's fine. They died. It's okay. Those are the 2 ways a show could go well, is if they like you or they die. Anyway, but I was I was such a dumb kid. You know, okay, like listen how dumb this is, right? When I was 12 and I started masturbating, I used to come into a sock. And then I would just leave the sock on the ground. Like, someone's gonna find that, what am I doing? You know, if you're gonna come into a sock, you gotta come into all the socks. That way people will just be like, oh, I guess that's socks. You know, I guess I didn't know socks as well as I thought. Now you're all gonna die, so I hope you're fucking happy. You're gonna live, the rest of you, you're gonna be with the first audience in hell. Applause from the back, all right. Another person saved. Anyway. So when I was a kid, I had braces. I had braces twice, because my orthodontist is a piece of shit. I think that was so mean and confusing, that first time you get them taken off. Right, you go in and they're like, all right, we're taking your braces off, everything looks great, except for your teeth. They look terrible. You're gonna need braces. But I was vindicated because I found out later that he was actually scamming kids. He was giving kids expanders who didn't even need them. Which, what a monster. This guy's making his fortune off the widened mouths of children. You know, he's on a beach somewhere drinking martinis or whatever, and we're all in class just like, ugh, I eat sandwiches in 2 bites or whatever. Like, we're little monsters. Oh, and I was such a I was a really shy kid. I'm still very shy. And everybody's first reaction is like, how can you be shy and do stand-up comedy? And to that I say, come talk to me after the show. You'll see, you'll be like, that guy was off-putting. Like, did you find out about 9/11 like just now? Like, why are you, you know, as a comedian, the question I get asked most often is, are you okay? I'm like, man. Anyway, so I got these like self-help books to get over my crippling shyness. Just because I was looking around at these people who seemed to make friends so easily and were so comfortable, and I was like, what is their secret? Is it reading? I mean, it's reading. So that's what I would do. I would get one of these books and I would go into my room and read for a couple months, and I'd come out and be like, does everybody like me? And they were like, not really. And I'd go, okay, and I head back in. And all the advice in the books was, it was like, stand up straighter, smile more. It was all the shitty stuff that guys say to women on the street, but I got it for $31 in paperback, so. But they didn't care that the book sucked, because they understand who is buying them, right? It's these non-confrontational people like me, so they're just like, oh, what, you didn't like that chapter? What, are you gonna say something about it, you little bitch? And I was like, oh, no, I'll finish it. Like, they didn't. Okay, I will admit there was one piece of advice from the book that was good, and it was if you have trouble remembering names, one thing you can do is if you repeat someone's name back to them, you're more likely to remember it later. And that actually is true, right? So let's say you're at a party, you know, and someone comes up and they're like, hi, I'm Lauren. You could be like, hey, I'm Lauren. And then you'll remember that that's Lauren. You know? And she'll remember you too. You're like, I didn't like Nick, man. That was, he was off-putting. Yeah. I'm so self-conscious. It's gross. I have weird body issues. Like, okay, I've been having back pain. Had to go to a physical therapist. You know what I found about if your back hurts? Okay, if and this has been almost 100% true. If you tell someone your back hurts, they'll tell you the sound that they would make if their back hurts. It's true. I'll be like, yeah, it's my lower back, and they're just like, ah, ooh, and I'm like, exactly, but on me though. No, but the physical therapist, I didn't even know this was a thing. He said the reason my back hurts is because one of my legs is way shorter than the other one. Which I thought I was injured, and it turns out I'm like ill-made. Right? He's like, do you have any questions? And I was like, yeah, are my parents cousins? Is that what you're telling me? Like, do I still get to go to heaven? You know, because I'm an abomination of the Lord, right? I'm self-conscious. And I'm losing my hair. It's receding, which, that's all I talk about, is that I'm losing my hair. And it's like, why do I cut it so short? You know, because I'm not afraid of you. That's no, literally all I talk about is that I'm losing my hair. Because that's how I deal with being self-conscious. You know, and I get other people are different, right? Especially guys. You know, some guys will deal with being self-conscious by really shutting down. They never want to talk to anybody about it. Other guys, when they're self-conscious, they murder their whole families, then turn the gun on themselves. But me, though, I just gab. So, you know, people are different. My girlfriend gets mad because I used to talk about it while I was driving, because the rearview mirror looks right here. and she gets so pissed. She's like, Nick, focus on what's ahead of you. And I'm like, I am, and it's terrible. She's like, what about the cars? I'm like, I look like my father. But, like, you guys know the number 2? I feel like that's my hairline. Doesn't that fit perfectly, almost suspiciously well? Like, if I had a secret room in my house, I'd open it like, like, guys, quick, into the panic room. And they're like, no, we don't like how you opened it. But I finally wore my girlfriend out talking about it, and she was like, look, even if you go completely bald and you shave your head, who cares, okay? It's not a big deal. You know, all you gotta do is just maybe work out a little more, you know, grow out the beard, like, it's not a big deal. And I was just like, if that's your advice, then clearly you think it's a big deal. Like, if you're telling me all I need to do is change my face and whole body, like, obviously you think it's something. Just like, don't worry about it, just be rich, you know, no one will even notice. So. And then she was like, well, just go talk to someone who shaved their head, you know, talk to them about it. And you can't talk to someone who shaved their head about it, because you sit down and they're just like, join us, and you're like, no. You know? You know how I got over it? Was I took a real good hard look at myself, and I realized that I'm getting kind of fat. So that's how I stopped thinking about my hairline. Not that. Okay, it's just when I gain any weight, and I don't know if anybody will relate to this, when I gain any weight, it all goes to my nipples. Does anyone? No, okay, perfect. There was a lady in the front row who was like, yeah. And it does, they start to like droop a little, like they look sad, like their feelings were, like they look like, do you guys remember learning in school that the male nipple has no biological function? You know, my nipples look like someone told them that. And they were just like, that is hard to hear. It's true, I can't wear shirts with the front pockets, you know, because it looks like I got a Hershey Kiss in there. But it's like melting. Ouch. It feels like you guys want me to move on. I will not. I get so jealous of you men with your perfectly circle flat nipples. You know, they're amazing. Like a penny, your nipples. My nipples look like if you took a penny and put it into one of those like museum penny stretcher. You know, I've got these oval like welcome to the Smithsonian nipples. Do they do that thing at other places besides this? What's another place they do that?
Detroit.
Detroit does that? The whole city?
Yeah. New Jersey Turnpike.
No, like a singular location. You can't just go into a state and be like, here's a penny. Like you gotta go, like what's a...
The Turnpike. Truck stop. Truck stop.
They do that at truck stops?
Yeah.
On the Jersey Turnpike.
Is that actually how you talk?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, just wanted to, I wasn't sure if you just said Jersey Turnpike like that and then you were gonna be like, anyway, I'm Southern or what.
I was just trying to blend in.
Oh, it didn't work. I called you out. Sorry. Do you have the Jersey accent too?
No, I have no accent.
I think you might. Talk again?
Zero accent. I'm gifted. I have zero accent.
But you think he sounds normal? With Jersey
I
Turnpike?
understood him. You didn't.
No, I understood. It was just peculiar. And I could recognize... Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, my nipples. No. I'll stop. I tried getting on the... have you guys heard of the keto diet? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what I started doing. Anybody who doesn't know what that is, basically the keto diet is you just replace eating carbohydrates with listening to Joe Rogan's podcast. So it's, you know. But my girlfriend was giving me... Oh, you like that? No, don't. The more you laugh, the less I have to talk. So, you know, if you just want to... I'll just do like one fart joke, and then you guys just... and then go. Anyway, but it's like a fad diet, you know, so people give me shit about it. Like, even my girlfriend, she said, she was like, you know, any weight you're losing on that diet is just water weight, right? Which that is mean, to come up to me after my 6th hard-boiled egg of the day and just be like, you're not thin, you're dry. It's true. I like her though. So my girlfriend and I, she's nice. We've been dating for just about 6 years, 6 years next month. People are so interesting about that because when they hear that, they're always like, oh, what are you waiting for? Get married, that's great. But so I'm 24 and she's my first girlfriend ever. Yeah, and when those same people hear that, they're like, oh, no, you should break up with her today. Like, you should do it today. She got me an interesting, one Valentine's Day, she hired a barbershop quartet of these like retired military dudes to like wake me up singing. And most people say Happy Valentine's Day with like a card. Not her though, she was like Vietnam veterans. That's the medium that I choose. It was $50 by the way. $50 to get 4 soldiers to sing to you. $200 you'd get a whole platoon. Sing to you until you fall asleep or come or whatever you want. I'm not saying, you just, you paid them, so just thank them for their service. I was too cowardly to do that joke on the first show, but I feel we've got a good rapport. So coming, but they were old. The military. I think I'm good at talking to old people. I think I am. Okay, I was talking to this 96-year-old one time. 96. He was also my grandfather, but mostly he was a 96-year-old. That's so. He was in World War II, and I had a cousin asking him if that was scary. I'm like, yeah, it's probably scary, but not as scary as just being 96, right? Okay, like if you had to pick between waking up as an 18-year-old in World War II or as a 96-year-old on the couch, like you definitely pick 18, because there you're only maybe gonna die. I noticed when you talk to old people and they're listening to what you're saying, they will listen like, they do that thing, but they're like, it's scared. And it's I had no idea, like at a certain age, your hearing gets so bad, you gotta like taste the story. Are you talking about onions or, Feels like you guys are offended on behalf of... Who cares if they're offended? They won't be around. No, okay. I got some real strong opinions about funerals, I think I relate to old people. Personally, I'm an open casket guy. Old school, Who isn't? I feel like everybody wants to get a little spooked, Or else it's boring. Oh, people get all weird about that. They're like, no, I don't want to see it. But if you ever go to a funeral with an open casket, there is a line to see the body. And it's long. It's like they're waiting for a water slide. But then you get to the front and it is so not a water slide. You're like, oh. My favorite part of a funeral is the eulogy. I really liked it. It's kind of the talent portion of the night. It's fun. But the last one I went to, there was this baby that was crying during the eulogies, and it was annoying. Everybody was crying, but like babies, when they cry, it's not funeral tears, and it was sort of distracting. But I think that's a good thing. Like okay, in a funeral context, I wish babies cried like funeral tears, but generally speaking, I think it's good that babies do not cry adult, bitter tears. Like, could you imagine how disturbing that would be? If every time a baby cried, it was just like, right? People wouldn't know whether to give the kid food or like space. Right? They're like, is he hungry? And it's like, no, I think he's divorced. Yeah, it's not looking good for this baby. Anyway, so girlfriend is good. That's what I'll talk about. She rescued a dog. Yeah, people say that's nice. But, okay, so we rescued a dog from this farm in Maryland. And, okay, so this farm... I feel like I had a burp. That's actually never happened to me on stage before. I never had a burp that was, Have you ever noticed no one's ever sneezed, like, in a performance either? Do you think that would happen?
Joke.
Tell a joke. This is the joke. This is how it goes. I start talking about dogs and then I meander. Anyway, so the dog. Oh yeah, rescued the dog from this farm in Maryland, right? Okay, and this farm. Imagine like a perfect place for a dog to live. That's what it was. And we rescued the dog from there and brought her to our 800 square foot New York apartment. Which is like, welcome to your new home. Now shut up, we have neighbors. Don't even wag your tail, they'll hear it. The dog's big thing is that she likes to pee right on the floor. And they do like a PetSmart class, but it was such, oh, it was so bad. Because the woman teaching the class was treating it like a college class, where she kept ending the thing early like she was doing us a favor. You know, she'd be like, you guys really got this. I think you can get out of here like 15 minutes early. And we're like, okay, but like, don't though? You know, like, we gave you money, we need help. I don't know what she thought we were gonna do. Like, oh, 15 minutes, like now I can get high before track. Like, yes. No, it was, and all the stuff they taught the dog was electives at best. Because it was tricks, right? It was how to make the dog like wave and then bow. So the dog was still peeing on the floor. The only difference was afterwards it could be like, ta-da! Like, it was, I finally had to ask, like, okay, what do we do about the dog peeing? And she said, she basically said the dog is getting too excited when you get home. So what you need to do is for the first few minutes when you get home, just like pretend you don't even have a dog. Which was such bad advice. You know, I would get home every day and just be like, whose dog is this? Comes around my apartment with a knife like, where is the, you know? Wound her up even more. I think dogs are in some ways amazing, but some ways they're not. Like, okay, dogs can sense if there's going to be an earthquake or if someone's going to have a drop in blood pressure. But interestingly, dogs cannot sense that I regret adopting her. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not like kidding, you know, but no, she's good. I sometimes wonder, like, do you feel like dogs have personalities? But I'm not sure. Is it the dog has a personality, or are we just imposing that on them? Right? Sometimes I'll look at my dog and I'm just like, are you really even a Christian? You know, like, I know we raised you Christian, but like, do you know what I mean? It's so dumb. Dogs. Yeah, and so I see her all the time because my day job, I work from home, which, you know, do you become a weird, depressed hermit person when you work from home? Yes. But it's so convenient, right? Because you don't have to worry about stupid things like new experiences or the sun, you know? I would take that every time. I would so much rather be a depressed person and not have to go into work than the other way around, you know? And I think that's true of everyone, even historically. The most famous example, or infamous, I guess, Robert E. Lee from Civil War. You guys know him. It's true. I don't know if you guys know. He was originally supposed to fight for the Union Army. Lincoln wanted him, and he said he was against slavery, but he went with the Confederacy because they were based in Virginia, and so was he. That was it. He picked the bad guys for the commute. He was just like, I'll be racist if I can do it in sweatpants. Like, that's yeah, the job. I don't miss so much about commuting. Like when I drove, I used to work in DC, and I would try to use Google Maps to get to work, and the roads Google Maps couldn't even handle DC's roads. Like, it would give up. It would, like, you know, Google Maps would be like, in 0.2 of a mile, try your best. It would stop doing the voice, you know, it'd be like, in a 1/4 mile, fuck. It would actually, like, are you smoking? Like, it was... And I was always late, and it would really irritate my managers until I learned a trick for how to be late and not annoy anybody. The key is you just gotta be wet. That's the secret. If you come in and you're like soaking wet and just kind of walk in like out there, people will leave you alone. And your coworkers are like, it's not even raining. Your manager's like, hey, leave him alone. He's a team player. He swam here today. It works. I really don't miss also, so I do telemarketing. There's a type of person who becomes a salesperson, and it's a really, are any of you guys sales? Nice. They're very intense type A, like, dudes. You know, like they're the type of people who talk loudly, but they also somehow like listen loudly too. You know, like you'll be saying something and they're just like, yeah. Yeah, it's intense. I feel like I have to amp up whatever I was saying just to like match their listening energy. You know, be like, yeah, I was eating this muffin and I thought it was a blueberry muffin, but then I looked again and the guy's like, what kind of muffin was it? And I'm like, it was a bullet muffin. Someone shot it. I don't miss it though. Although I still get yelled at. It's just by people over the phone now. People have interesting ways of rejecting you. Like if I ever call people who work for the government, they're particularly snobby about how they tell me to fuck off. It's really, because every time they're like, hey, excuse me, okay, this is a government number. You're not allowed to solicit to me. And it's like, I think it's too late. Like, you picked up the phone, this is a sales call. Right, it's done. You're telling me the bathroom's for customers only? I am wiping already. That's my exact sales pitch, by the way. Sometimes people will yell at me, but it's almost kind of fun. I had one lady, she maybe let me get 3 or 4 words into my little pitch, and I was like, hi, this is Nick, and she just cut me off and went, no, until I hung up. It was like incredible. But, yeah, I don't know. Before that, I may have had I used to work at a Goodwill, which was, people who shop at Goodwill do not understand, like, where they are. I would have so many customers come up to me with, like, I don't know, like a cup or something, you know, that they liked, and they would go, I like this cup. Do you have more of this cup in the back of Goodwill? And then they would be like annoyed when I didn't know. They're like, do you not know what's back there? I'm like, do you fucking know what's back there? This is Goodwill. All right, if I look, I'm not gonna find a set of your cups, but I guarantee you I will find teeth. One time I found a crossbow with poop on it. Yeah, it's gross. Which is why my favorite thing people would ask us, it was almost adorable. They would go, they would ask us, where do you wash the clothes? What a world they live in. And they're like, well, if you don't wash the clothes, why are you letting us use those changing rooms? And it's like, who told you those were changing rooms? Okay, those are private spaces for the employees to do cocaine and fentanyl accidentally. You shouldn't be in there. There's blood on the walls. Goodwill is gross. It actually changed my standards for hygiene. Okay, I used to be one of those people, I felt like if you go to the bathroom and you just pee, it's fine if you just rinse. Shut up. That's what I felt. Until I saw this guy there who crossed the line even for me. Okay, so this guy peed, and then he didn't wash his hands, and I was like, fine, whatever. But then he dried his hands. Like, you see why that's a problem, right? Where he was like, these are wet enough to dry, but not dirty enough to clean. It was like a riddle. And I was like, what's the answer? And he's like, pee. That's gross. I don't know, I gotta get out more. That's been a big fight between me and my girlfriend, is that I just do comedy and then nothing else. And it was really serious. She was gonna like break up with me. She was like, you need to go out with me. We need to have fun together. I got us tickets to a Fish concert. I was like, oh, that's not fair. Also, whatever you think about Fish as a band, no concert is made more fun by like an ultimatum. Right, like, whoa, we're gonna break up if it doesn't go well? Oh, let's do it. Like it was, do you guys know the band Fish?
Yeah.
Okay, they're, the big thing about them is they play for so fucking long. The concerts are really long. And it's because all the people who go to Fish concerts lost custody of their kids years ago. So they don't have anywhere to be. My girlfriend had the nerve, by the way, to ask me which song was my favorite at the end of it. Which, like, because she's thinking a Fish concert is like a concert, but it isn't. A Fish concert is an endurance test, right? You wouldn't go up to someone who just finished a marathon and be like, which mile was your favorite? Like, no, you would give me a banana and say I did a good job. Because I did a good job. I didn't even complain for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours, and that was not from the beginning, by the way. When we got there, Fish was already playing, and a part of me really believes that Fish has always been playing. Like there was always Fish, and then one day they built Madison Square Garden around them because people were complaining. But I was in the blast zone. Dude, I waste so much time just working from home. She is right. I don't do anything. God, like I keep watching these documentaries that like I don't care about. Like, have you guys seen any of these documentaries about the ocean? Like, what do they want? You know? They're so intense about the ocean. They'll start and it's just like, the ocean is so fucking deep. It's so fucking deep. Look at me, you know? If you tried to swim to the bottom of the ocean, the pressure would crush you. And it would crush your dad. Like, okay. And then the whole rest of it is how weird fish get if you swim deep enough. You know, they're like, oh, if you go way deep, there's giant squid. And they hunt whales and could beat up your dad. And you're like, again, fine. Also, I feel like everybody already knows that when you swim deeper, the fish get weirder. Like, yeah. You know what would actually be interesting is if it turned out if you swim really, really deep, it gets normal again. You know, they're like, oh, if you go way down past the giant squid and you keep going, there's a Macy's. And you're like, oh, is there parking? And they're like, yeah, it's pretty reasonable. The other one I I'll watch these alien ones, you know? But there's no answers, it's just questions. Right? They'll be like, are there aliens? And then it's been 2 hours. The only through line I have noticed is, I keep hearing this little joke about if you get abducted by an alien, then you'll get probed in the butt a little bit. Have you guys heard that? So yeah, that's a thing. People say, which is crazy that people have heard of that, because that's a stereotype about aliens. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in this country, bigotry is such a problem. We're stereotyping groups before we know if they exist. Right? Like maybe there's aliens, but if there are, they're definitely fucking. I mean, come on. We're gonna get invaded and everyone's just like, oh shit, okay. But as much time as I waste, I don't think I'm as bad. I don't know if you guys are gonna like this joke. I don't know if I'm as bad. I have this roommate who is rewatching The Office for like the 9th time. And yeah, you know, I was sitting there thinking like, who is the demographic of person who is still watching The Office today? Yeah, I thought about it, you're not gonna like it. I thought about it a lot, and you know who it is? It's cowards. It's weak, cowardly people. I can tell you don't like it, I am not stopping. That's who it is. Because if you're still watching The Office today, you don't even want to watch a show. You just want something that makes you feel safe and familiar, but you're too shitty to just call your mom. That's what it is. She'd really like to hear from you, and you're like, no, 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 no. She just got 23 minutes older, and you missed it. It's true. And you know what? It's creepy watching you watch it. Because you don't even laugh anymore. People who are still watching The Office have seen it so many times that when you watch it, you just sit there kind of like slack-jawed, you know, and then when there's a joke, you pee a little. Anyway, guys, you have been a fantastic audience. Thank you so much for hanging out. My name is Nick. Big round of applause for your host.